Going to install the Wings-A-loft system from Delorean Parts Northwest. So they give you a template that you cut out. Cut out this template, and for the passenger side door, we flip this around. Okay, I've got the template on the door. I've got this bottom hole lined up with that old bolt hole there, and we mark our two holes there. This is lined up at the top, and the curve is lined up around the curve. Now we mark our holes and drill them. I use the spacer here to get make sure my holes are in the right spot. I've got little black marks from a Sharpie, so I'll line those up and they're perfect, so I'm going to drill the holes. Okay, I've got the holes drilled, and this actuator is going to go behind there, so the holes are lined up perfectly. So we'll mount the actuator with this spacer plate, and we'll mount that behind the door. Okay, those were two 3/16" holes. I got the actuator mounted right here. So what's going to happen is this connecting rod, make sure you got the right one for the right door, will actually go in that and then connect in right there. So have to drill a hole there. The hole is a 5/32. So you need to support this bracket from behind. If you press too hard, you might bend it. So you can hold it here with your finger while you're pressing in, or put a small block of wood behind it. Got the hole drilled. I recommend wearing some safety goggles because little metal filings do fly everywhere when you're drilling that. So this will be inserted here, and the other end goes into the actuator. Like so. Now you have your linkage, and we need to bend this forward slightly so it won't pop out. Got the connecting rod in to the actuator. Got the ground screw in. Now this little pigtail is going to go up into here. I've already installed the new actuators for the door locks, so this doesn't have the black wire in it from the solenoid. So this black wire will be powering the solenoid. So I'll disconnect my battery before I plug anything in. Okay, you remove the screws that hold the clips for the bungee, and then the back panel will come out, and you can expose the wiring harness for both sides. That's the passenger side, and over here is the driver's side. It's a little tricky to get this. I have a wire connected to the connector on the driver's side door. Going here down here to my multimeter. Got it on tone, so I'll get a tone if I find the wire. Got the connector unplugged back here, and see which connector it is. Okay, so it's that one right there. So that is the black wire that's going to the driver's side. This one right here, driver's side connector, which will power the actuator. Okay, I've got the wire connected to the passenger door to my multimeter. I have the driver's side plug disconnected. That was very hard to get to. Basically had to pull the panel around that pull handle for the trunk release or the engine cover release, and it's in this connector here and this wire here. So that wire has to come out. That goes to the passenger side. Okay, if you have one of these, it comes in very handy. If not, get one. You can spread this. This was made to pull out smaller pins, but I spread it open in order to fish it down into the hole to compress the little tabs here to get this pin out. So this is the pin that goes to the passenger side. Behind the driver's side, clipped the connector off, and I've got some 16 gauge wire, and I'm going to use this butt splice to splice in this wire to the wire behind the driver's side panel and feed it over. Okay, I've got the 16 gauge wire fed over all the way through here, all the way over to this side, and that will be the connector for opening the passenger side door. Now I'm going to do the same thing for this connector, cut that off, use a butt splice, and splice that into some wire to get it down into this area here. Here's the driver's side actuator all connected. Got the ground wire here. Got the white wire plugged into the plug, going to the black wire. There's the blinkage bar that's in there. I'll probably need to tighten this up a little bit more. I've got the relays connected up, all with connectors on the end for the 2 blue wires going to each actuator, and the black wires here connecting to the wiring harness. So I've got the 2 black wires that I ran from the new actuators for the left and right door. I've got them connected to the blue wires that are coming out of the relay. Now the diagram here has the relays positioned to where the brown and black wire is connected to the black wire on the left hand side actuator. So if we look at the relays, how they're pictured, this black wire here goes down and connects to the brown and black wire on the wiring harness that goes into the control module. Then the right hand door is to the yellow and black wire. So this black wire here goes here to the yellow and black wire. The yellow wires coming out of this is going to 12 volt, so I tied them together and connected them to the auxiliary side. And this little pigtail here, I went ahead and made a pigtail to connect 12 volts to the control module wiring harness here. The black ground wire coming out of here is going back to this empty relay connector back here. It said plug it into the black wire. So that's going to the black wire there. Okay, using the female T-taps and male spade connectors, join the blue and white wire to the brown and silver wire. So I tapped into the brown and silver wire coming out of the door lock module and connected it to the blue and white wire in the wiring harness. And then the other one is to connect the green and white wire to the brown and pink wire. So we tapped into the brown and pink wire and connected it to the green and white wire. So that has all the wires connected. Those are the relay wires there. I've got the power. I've got the black wires coming off the relays to the control module, yellow and brown, 12 volt, ground, and then tapped into these 2. Okay, I'm inside the car with the doors closed. We're going to lock. That locks everything. And then unlock. That unlocks it. Now we're going to open the passenger door. Takes it a few tries, not sure why. We'll open the driver's door. There we go. The final piece is to get the lights to flash. This blue wire from the final relay is going to be connected to the red and green wire that goes to the lights. So I'm going to use one of these T-taps here to crimp on the wire, and then use male plug to plug into that. So this will be crimped onto here. This will go on this wire down here. And then the orange wire from the control goes to the black wire. Got that connected to the blue wire. Got the orange wire connected to the black wire. Got the relay in. Got the 12 volts connected here together with the other one. Everything's wired up. Battery is reconnected. Close the door. And we'll check to make sure the lights flash when we go to lock or unlock. And we'll open the door.